Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Jobless MA, the highest level of cage fighting discourse on the internet. Make sure to like and subscribe. If you do, I'll have my secretary send the Addy for my next Rager.
Boys, back with another video today, man. I'm very excited. We got one of my better video ideas here. Something like an ace in the hole. You know, I've been knowing that I was going to bring this one out, but today's finally the day. But before we get into it, let's talk about something else, man. Guys, my Uncle Jay, my Unky Jay, he was making that intro for us, and on my last video, someone was kind of unhappy, you know? He was kind of unhappy. He was calling him the basket of deplorables, you know? He was saying that he's not really a friend of the channel, you know? And last time Unky Jay had some people who didn't like him, it didn't go so well for him, man. So go ahead, leave some prayers for Unky Jay. He's going through a rough time. We're praying for you. We're praying for you. Of course, we love Unky Jay. So today we're going to be talking about my favorite black UFC fighters, right? And there's a couple things to get into before we start this topic. Number one, let me tell you guys a story. So when Jobless MMA was in college, yes, we were in college. We are lettered. You know how it is. He discovered that he had a real affinity for the black women, the chocolate women. So before we get into the video, I want to say we absolutely love the sisters out there. They love us. I think I was on a point where like I was probably with like 8 women in a row that were black, you know, somewhere between like a 2 and 8 on the darkness scale, but one of them was Nigerian. So shout out to the people in Nigeria, man. We love you guys. We love everyone. And shout out to the brothers tuning into this video too, because this is going to be a long one. This is going to be something I got to put a little bit of work into. But when I got working on this black UFC fighters tier list, I realized that a lot of my favorite fighters in the UFC are black. And it's something that I had already known doing my recent journeyman videos on Neil Magny and Kevin Holland. Some other names came to my mind that we will be making videos about later. And I was like, oh man, I love these guys. You know, I think probably like maybe my 3 favorite UFC fighters are black right now. So like I said, shout out to the brothers. And without further ado, let's get into the video. So we're starting off with a lesser known black fighter. I'm going to be going with Atomic Alonzo Menfield. I got him in the C tier. So I really do like Alonzo Menfield sometimes. There's been moments he would have been in the B tier probably, but one thing I really don't like about him is his cardio. And recently he's had a lot of slop fest decisions where he runs out of cardio. And, you know, his draw with Jimmy Crute was something really unfortunate to view. And I don't see that much progression from Alonzo Menfield as a fighter, which is something that kind of disappoints me at points. But I do like his mentality. He goes out there, he tries to take off people's heads, you know. This is like he is the embodiment of what happens when you take a American football player and you make him a fighter. You know, I think that Atomic Alonzo Menfield embodies that better than anyone, better than Eric Anders for sure, the clinch demon. So we're going to be putting him in the C tier, but obviously a chance to move up in the future for Alonzo. So up next, we got Kamaru Usman, the Nigerian Nightmare, a fighter I love, A tier for sure. He had one of those title reigns. You know, it's kind of like playing football. You know, when you play football, every day when you're at practice, you want to go home. You know, you're like, this shit sucks. I can't wait for the season to be over. But when it's over, you really miss it. That is Kamaru Usman's title reign. His win over Gilbert Burns was honestly such a good win. His knockout over Jorge Masvidal, amazing. Unfortunate that he got taken down a peg by Leon Edwards, who we'll be talking about later. But that second fight, this is a very unpopular opinion. I kind of thought he won the second fight, which is pretty crazy because I'd have to go rewatch the fight, but I've never heard of anyone else thinking that he won the fight, but I thought he won the fight. And then his recent win against Joaquin Buckley, hey, that shit was awesome. We all love to see Kamaru Usman get it back. We'll be talking about Buckley soon too. We love Buckley. But, hey, I'm a problem. I'm going to be coming all night long. Don't back up, T-Wood. Don't back up. We are not backing up. We love Kamaru Usman, A tier. Up next, a guy we just made a 40-minute video about. This shit literally took me like 13 hours. Neil, the Haitian sensation Magny, putting him in the B tier. So Neil Magny is one of the picks on this list who he's kind of an ironic pick, you know? In terms of his fighting, it's pretty fucking boring, right? But ironically, I really like him in his old age. I love to see him turn back these contenders. I love a fighter who wins comeback fights, sloppy comeback fights, where he shows a lot of grit, he shows a lot of heart, and I think that is something that Neil Magny has. He has a lot of heart, you know? And his fights in recent years have been exciting. So he's definitely one of those high risers who's made moves up recently. He's going up in the B tier. Really excited to see, you know, his win against Jake Matthews, Mike Malott, Daniel Rodriguez, all these ones. I think he also got turned back recently. I'm forgetting now. How did I forget, man? I just made a fucking 40-minute video about this. Wasted my whole fucking day doing it. So go check out the Neil Magny video. All respects, a legendary cockroach journeyman. Up next, one of my favorite black fighters for sure, Kevin the Trailblazer Holland, channel legend. We also made a video about him. His 2020 UFC Apex title run was something of legend. It was awesome to watch. His knockout win over Jacare Souza was sick. He knocked out fucking Joaquin Buckley, was sick. He knocked out fucking Anthony Hernandez. It was sick. in recent years, Kevin Holland has become kind of disliked by the MMA fan base as a whole. You know, obviously with the 40, bro, this guy doesn't even know what a 45-70 is. Yeah. All that shit. That is literally my profile picture. That shit was hilarious. And he's kind of pissed people off by being maybe a little salty after his fights and also making a lot of excuses and not giving a fuck. But I think that if you know who Kevin Holland is, like I said at the end of my Kevin Holland video, I called him the new generation Cowboy Cerrone. And when you look with that lens of like, okay, this guy's just here to fight a lot, give the fans a good show, he'll fight anybody. He doesn't really care that much about winning and losing. Guys, just look at it that way and you'll love Kevin Holland. So he would have been S tier a couple years ago. He has maybe gotten to my nerves a little bit, but he's A tier right now. Love Kevin Holland. His recent fight against Daniel Rodriguez was a banger. And I really do like his fight style, that high school bathroom fight style. Up next, we got another long, lengthy welterweight. We got Randy Rude Boy Brown. I'm putting Randy Brown in the B tier. So his recent loss against would have been Gabriel Bonfim, tough loss, but the fight before that, his knockout win over Nicholas Dalby, what a fight. Shout out to Nicholas Dalby too, man. This guy's one of those unsung guys who puts forward really good fights, got a ton of heart, 40 years old, guys that the UFC runs on. Shout out to Nicholas Dalby. But I do like Randy Brown. Outside of the cage, guys, this man has a lot of style. Maybe I should have put him in the UFC fighters I would sleep with if I was a woman tier list. He wears some sick shirts. He wears these kind of, Randy Rude Boy Brown. Wagwan Rude Boy. Why you know you're say Randy Brown fight this weekend? Yeah. He wears like these nice island button downs. He's got a lot of style, and I like how he fights. I love how he throws his snap kicks. I love his long, straight shots. He's got a lot of knockout power too. So Randy Brown in the B tier, a guy that I get pretty excited to watch when I see him on a card. Up next, we got one of the more famous black fighters in UFC history. We got the last style bender, Ciryl Gane. What a terrible fighter he is, frankly. He's going in the C tier, guys. Honestly, he would be D tier just with the amount of like annoying shit he's done. But there's a couple things keeping him up in the C tier for me. Number one, his activity as a champion. He kind of carried the UFC. Him and Kamaru Usman and Volk carried the UFC for a brief time. Number two, he does have some legendary moments, guys. You cannot debate this. His knockout win over Paulo Costa, that shit was awesome. And then his knockout win over Alex Pereira, that shit was like triple awesome. He's maybe a little bit corny sometimes, with his trash talk. And the reason he's in the C tier and not the B tier, I would call him a borderline B tier, C tier guy. He's a high C tier for me. He's had some pretty fucking boring wins. His win over Marvin Vettori, boring as fuck. And his win over Jared Cannonier, boring as fuck. And I think that he's levels above those guys, and he should have maybe given us more as fans. Definitely a lot of boring fights late in that title reign, but a guy that I still get excited to watch, and I wouldn't say that I hate him by any stretch of the word. Up next, we got Manel Kape, Starboy, A tier. So obviously he just slumped out Brandon Roybal. We love Brandon Roybal. He was in my Latino UFC fighters tier list. And obviously, guys, there's going to be a white UFC fighters tier list after this one, probably an Asian one too, and then a Brazilian one. Like this will be a thing that we're doing. But Manel Kape is super exciting to watch. I've really only been bored by him one time, which would be the Muhammad Mokaev fight. But guys, by the way, we need to re-sign Muhammad Mokaev. What are we doing, guys? This is one of the best fighters in the world. But kind of boring, but that's not his fault. He got taken into that boring fight by Mokaev. But he has a lot of knockout power. He's hilarious on the mic. Do not ask Muhammad Mokaev what he thinks about the team over at City Kickboxing. Yes. Do not ask him what he thinks. That was one of the funniest post-fight press conferences moments ever. My boys and I, we were fucking laughing. It was awesome. I'm really, really liking him, man. He's a very dynamic striker in the flyweight division. Lots of power. A guy I get really excited to watch. And I'm going to be very excited to maybe see him. What did he say? He's going to change Joshua Van's diapers or take his diapers or some shit. I'm excited to watch that. I hope you are too. Up next, we got another flyweight, Charles Energy Johnson, A tier. Charles Johnson is a fucking beast, dude. His recent win over Lona Kavanaugh was fucking sick. His KO win over Joshua Van was fucking sick. He's got all the skills. He's got all the talent. He's been a guy that everyone has been considering for a while to be the dark horse of the flyweight division. I really like watching him fight. He's got serious knockout power for 155. Seems like a cool dude. He's got some crazy hair. And yeah, I think he's really got the chops. He's a great wrestler. He's got, like, in my opinion, what is the perfect MMA build. I think there's two things you need in MMA boxing, in MMA above all things, and that is elite wrestling and boxing. And I think he's got those two things. Those are the S tier of martial arts for me. Although if you want to get more technical, I'd put like Sambo in there or some shit, probably like judo too. But very, very impressed by Energy Charles Johnson. Very excited to watch him keep going. Our first S tier entrant. Hey, you guys knew that this man would be S tier. We got Derrick the Black Beast Lewis. What can I even say? So many legendary moments. I can't even put them in a list, but off the top of my head, comeback win, knockout over Volkov, fucking crazy. The flying knee at the beginning of the fight versus De Lima, the tubby guy, crazy. The fucking knockout win over Taliesin Teixeira, crazy. His knockout win over Travis Brown, crazy. Him going on hot ones was hilarious. My balls was hot, taking his pants off. His legendary post-fight celebrations in the center of the octagon. And in general, he seems like an absolute chiller. He loves his wife. He loves his wife. He loves some chalky, just like Jobless MMA. So we got a lot of respect for him there. Derrick Lewis, definitely S tier, MMA legend. And I really, really hope that he somehow gets another title shot, although I don't really see how it's possible, but that shit would be really cool. Up next, maybe a controversial take. I got the tarantula Jalin Turner in the A tier. So, Jalin Turner is kind of a beast as a fighter. He's very fun to watch, and he's almost beat some guys who are like fucking insane at fighting. Obviously, he lost that decision to Gamrot, who I honestly thought that he should have won. He recently retired and he came back and he beat the piss out of Edson Barboza. And then his fight against Dan Hooker was amazing as well. I really like Jalin Turner. He hits super hard considering how long he is, how skinny he is. He's got that death touch, and also he's got some really nice chokes in his game. That guillotine choke in particular is pretty nasty. He seems like a very chill guy. He seems like a guy who kind of wears like, I don't know, like cargo pants and shit. He likes to go skating and stuff, and he probably like smokes blunts and plays the game and stuff. Like that's a dude I would be chilling with, no doubt about it. So Jalin Turner, welcome back from retirement. You're in the A tier. I fuck with you. And like I said, like kind of like Charles Johnson, this is a guy people have viewed as a dark horse in the lightweight division for a good amount of time. Maybe at this point he's a post-type sleeper. Maybe it's not over for Jalin Turner. Maybe he still has a shot. Up next, we got the miracle, Lerone Murphy. Now, this guy would have been a D tier last year, but his recent win over Aaron Pico, probably the best knockout of the year. So I'm putting him up in the C tier. What a young, exciting prospect this guy is. He's like 39 years old. No, I think he's actually more like 40, 47 years old. Young, up and comer. He's hungry. He's green, but he's on a great win streak. This guy should be getting a title shot right now. This Volkanovski versus Lopez shit is absolute bullshit. If we're keeping it a stack, I know a lot of you guys would agree, but I think it should be either Lerone Murphy or it should be Evloev. But unfortunately, it's not what we're getting. Lerone Murphy's got a lot of hype on him, man. He's had some really good fights. He's a very complete martial artist. His win against Edson Barboza was great, although we didn't really know how washed Edson was at the time. And then obviously that spinning elbow finish he just got over Aaron Pico. Literally, man, Aaron Pico has been radio silent since that. Haven't heard a peep from him. Nothing on social media. This guy has turned into, like Jason Bourne identity. He's on some Michael Schofield tech. Like this guy is so hidden, you couldn't even find him. He's probably in a prison in Panama now, like Michael Schofield. That's how bad he got knocked out. So Lerone Murphy, the miracle. It's really good to see a guy on an undefeated kind of title run right now. But he's definitely had some stinky fights. A lot of decisions. So he's in the C tier. But like I said, with some of these other guys, this is a guy who could definitely find his way going up into the A tier, even the S tier at some point. Up next, we got a former champion. We got a guy who's been around for a while. We got Aljamain Funkmaster Sterling. He's going in the B tier for me. I kind of like Aljo. As a person, he seems like a really nice guy. Maybe not the funniest, but sometimes he's a little funny, and I really do kind of like his fight style. He's got a very unique fight style. He's kind of twitchy and weird on the feet, but he's getting better as his career goes on. And then his top game and his jiu-jitsu is super duper elite. He's going up to the B tier for me, man. This is kind of a post-type sleeper as well. I like Aljo. His fight against Movsar Evloev was one of the more fun grappling fights I've watched in a long time. Obviously, he just beat up Brian Ortega pretty bad, I'm not even doing an Ortega impression. Fuck that. But he beat up Brian Ortega, and I really, really like. I think probably the reason he's still in the B tier for me is his win over Corey Sandhagen during COVID. That shit was fucking lit, dude. He literally choked Corey Sandhagen out unconscious in like 40 fucking seconds, running around screaming all over the octagon. And that win has aged so well over time. To beat Corey Sandhagen in 40 seconds is fucking crazy. And then I did kind of like, actually, his title run was kind of shit, but he was an underrated champion, I'd say, just because of the way it came about. I was actually at his fight. It was the second fight against Peter Yan in Jacksonville. That is the only UFC event I've ever been to. And I remember when I went to the bathroom, there was like a black dude and there was like an Eastern European dude. And they were over there by the bathroom sink. There was a long line into the bathroom. I actually saw Andrei Arlovsky at the line into the bathroom, which was cool. But these two guys literally started having a fist fight in there. They were arguing about the scores. I thought Peter Yan won. I watched it back. It all comes down to round one, depending on what you think. But very unfortunate from Peter Yan. He low-key got jobbed out of both of those fights, but it is what it is. Aljamain Sterling, B tier. A guy I still do like. Another S tier entrant. fan favorite, channel favorite, Joaquin Buckley. We love him. Similar to what I was talking about with Andrei Arlovsky, I actually met Joaquin Buckley in line at that UFC event in Jacksonville, and he was the fucking homie, dude. I was next to him, and I like turned my head, and I was like, "Holy shit, it's Joaquin Buckley!" And he goes, "Holy shit, it's me!" And it was hilarious, dude. I think he was getting a hot dog in line with me. He's actually kind of a short guy when you meet him in real life. He's like 5'9", dude. Like I was a considerable amount taller than him, which I was pretty surprised. But Joaquin Buckley, we love him. I love his energy on social media. He works out like a dog. He talks a lot of shit. It's very funny. I hope he gets this Shavkat fight coming up because Shavkat said some crazy shit, man. He was calling him black boy and stuff, which is pretty funny to watch. But I hope Joaquin Buckley gets that fight. And I've been very, very excited on his welterweight run so far, man. He's really putting damage on some motherfuckers, man. He slept Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. He beat the shit out of Vicente Luque. He looks great, and he's a contender I can really, really get behind. And yeah, it was something that I mentioned in my Neil Magny video, but I hope that that Joaquin Buckley like doesn't lose a fight and then gets Neil Magny. That's what I worry about with Neil Magny. That's kind of why I hope he retires right now, because one of these guys can lose and come back and absolutely slime him out, which would be pretty terrifying. But Joaquin Buckley, New Mansa, S tier, we love him. I'd love to get him on this. I'd love to get him on this channel for an interview, dude. He's a guy I love, and there's a lot of good UFC fighters that have come out of St. Louis, man. When I started doing this list, we got Joaquin Buckley. I believe we have Charles Johnson as well. We got Michael the Menace Johnson, and we got the STL sniper Sean Woodson. St. Louis representing not the best city. I've been there. It's kind of a shithole, but I digress. Anyways, up next, Jeff Neal, another gatekeeper I was thinking about doing my recent tier list. I'm putting him in the B tier. He's had some great performances, you know? He's got a lot of balls. He beat the piss out of Vicente Luque. That was a great win. And he's not really scared of anyone, man. They give him some tough fights. He goes out there, man. He went toe-to-toe with Shavkat Rakhmonov, got put in that bouncer choke. That shit was kind of racist, if I'm being honest. That bouncer choke was a little bit racist. Anyways, though, Jeff Neal, I get excited to watch him always. He's got some of the best boxing in the UFC. His recent, that recent loss to Carlos Prates, CP, probably my favorite fighter in the UFC at the moment. That shit was brutal. You know, that shit was brutal. Jeff Neal, Neil Magny, these guys are getting served up to the next generation. Welterweight is so loaded with fucking killers at this point. A lot of guys who are on this list, too, of just killers at welterweight. But Jeff Neal, really love him. Really love him. B tier. S tier, another guy I would consider to be kind of a legend around here on this channel. We haven't been long enough to really have legends, but a guy I hope to promote into a legend, the Killer Gorilla, Jared Cannonier, S tier. Okay, so I mentioned in an earlier video that I was in rehab. Yes, we were in rehab. It was not for, an AC joint sprain in my shoulder. I was doing a little bit of drugs, but I'm clean now. I'm sober. That's why I'm pumping out all this content for you guys. I love you. Stay clean, stay sober, boys. But when I was in there, we had a night where we ordered some Chinese food, and it was for the main event, Jared Cannonier versus Gregory Rodriguez. And this fight was fucking sick. In his late career, Jared Cannonier has shown to have so much heart, so much balls. He goes out there, he puts it all on the line. He's a real fucking warrior. I love Jared Cannonier. I get excited to watch him fight every single time. I really do like the guy. He's like 41 years old. He looks young. He's found the fountain of youth. We love Jared Cannonier. We are excited to keep watching him fight. I hope he never retires. So, where there's an S tier, I had to counteract it, man. We got one of the few D tiers in this entire video. Michael Venom Page. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, man. This guy sucks. I mean, he's like one of the fighters, like he kind of represents to me what's wrong with the UFC, Casual fans, they love guys like Michael Venom Page, and they fucking hate, Movsar Evloev, and they hate fucking Kamaru Usman, and they hate fucking Aljo, and they hate all these guys, but I'm like, Michael Venom Page is the fucking problem, Like he's a distance, he's like a Taekwondo point fighter. It's very boring to fucking watch. But if you just want to go on YouTube and you want to watch a highlight reel, it's very exciting. And that is, at least in terms of getting fans, the only two things that really matter are, can you talk shit, which he kind of does, and do you have a good highlight reel on YouTube? So guys like Michael Venom Page and Cheeto Vera, they slip through the cracks. Everyone loves them. Oh, dude, Michael Venom Page, blah, blah, blah. Dude, you see he fucking taunted Kevin Holland? He acted like he was drunk after he hit him, blah, 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 blah. It's like, dude, I'm not excited to watch Michael Venom Page. He doesn't really develop as a martial artist. He can't fucking grapple. He's like 38 years old. He's never gotten there. And he has some pretty boring fights. Like, he kind of just wants to win decisions and clip farm. So he's going in the D tier, not a channel favorite at all. Sorry. Excuse me. Still very sick. But up next, we got a guy who has probably been the biggest riser on the UFC Black Fighters stock market. A guy that I didn't really know, but now I fucking love him. Christian Leroy Duncan. This dude is super exciting to watch. His last 2 fights have both ended in knockouts where he's beating the shit out of guys. The one against Marco Tulio was fucking brutal. I love his style. I love the way he moves around the cage. Very graceful fighter. He's kind of like more of like a hood classic Michael Venom Page. You know what I mean? Like, this is someone that the hood's fucking with. Christian Leroy Duncan. He's got a lot of power in those hands. I think that he has like real potential to at the end of his career. I mean, he's getting to be kind of old now, so he needs to fucking get it moving a little bit, but he could be a real challenge in this middleweight division. And just off of pure fighting, he's in the A tier for me. I love watching this guy fight. I think he's one of the most unsung kind of up and comers in the UFC right now. Up next, got a pretty famous fighter. We got Khalil Rountree. He's going in the B tier. I'm not the biggest Khalil Rountree fan. I think I posted something about that in one of my recent videos. I'm not the biggest fan. I don't think he's really that exciting to watch as a fighter. I think his personality is kind of fucking lame, to be honest. But I do like, his journey. He's had a great weight loss journey. He's really turned his life around, and he has shown recently to have a ton of heart. So he's not. I would have had him in the C tier like a year or two ago, but he's shown to have a ton of heart. We really saw it in the Prohaska fight. We really saw it in the Alex Pereira fight. Like, this guy's a dog. He won't quit. And I don't know, the Jamahal Hill fight. Like, Jamahal Hill obviously was doing that sloppy ass, middle school dance footwork. He's kind of just shuffling around, trying to, maybe put some duct tape on his boner so he doesn't fucking, cream in front of his date. He's got that type of footwork, but Khalil Rountree teed off on him, but he wasn't as aggressive as I would have liked him to be. I think he could have probably finished Jamahal Hill in that fight. But he's going B tier. Still a guy I have a lot of respect for. Very beautiful Muay Thai. One of the most pure Muay Thai practitioners left in the UFC. Speaking of the devil, the man he beat, this guy is also a man I'm also trying to maybe promote him into being a channel legend at some point. Sweet dreams, Jamahal Hill. We love you, champ. Yes, champ. We love you, champ. I made my first video on this channel about this, guys. Still somehow my most viewed video, even though honestly my editing and all that shit has gotten so much better as the channel's gone on. But I don't know. I think maybe it had like the most clickbait title or some shit. But sweet dreams, Jamahal Hill. I said it all in that video, but I love his fight style. He beat the shit out of Thiago Marreta Santos. His win against Glover Teixeira was amazing. Knockout win, Johnny Walker, Looney Tunes, awesome. Knockout win with the right hook over Jimmy Crute, awesome. I just think that he got injured before the Poetan fight. He tore his Achilles, and he fought that fight on 6 months' notice, which was a fucking terrible idea. You're not supposed to do that with an Achilles at all. I mean, like, Kobe Bryant took like a year and a half off with that same injury, but he did it. And then I just don't think his Achilles has recovered, so his footwork is pretty fucking scuffed. And I think that that's why we see Jamahal Hill at the level he's at now. But I kind of love him, I do kind of, I mean, statistically, hey, if you touch my girl, I'm going to knock you the fuck out. That's what he said to Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Kind of based, if you ask me. We fuck with Jamahal Hill. Hopefully he'll, turn this back around. Probably it's a fight against Jan Blachowicz is coming next, if I had to guess. But yeah, love him. Sweet dreams. Up next, we got Bon Gama. We got Ciryl Gane, C-tier entrant. I mean, you guys have heard all the critique from all the other MMA YouTubers, but inactive fighter, never learns how to grapple. He isn't really a fighter, honestly. He's more of like a artist, I would call him. He's like an artist. He likes the pretty fighting, he wants to get in there and get some clean wins and dip. The dude's filming fucking Paw Patrol. I was watching this French MMA series. I think it's called like The Cage or some shit. Dude's on there. He's fucking, he's in there with Fernand Lopez on this fucking Netflix series, and he never fucking fights. I put him in the C tier. Honestly, his performance against Tom Aspinall recently before the eye poke, very impressive, guys. Very impressive. I'm excited to watch this fight. I will say Ciryl Gane was probably winning that fight. So he's C tier for me. Got some great highlights on his resume. His KO over Tai Tuivasa. There's like a side of the angle replay of that. It's completely brutal. But I think he's a front runner is a good way to describe him. I would describe him as a front runner. He doesn't really have that dog, that heart. Like, he's not like a real fucking savage, So those are the type of guys we love. Like, Jared Cannonier is a savage. He'll drink someone's blood. He doesn't give a fuck. But Ciryl Gane, baguettes, cigarettes, coffee. He's a Frenchman. It is what it is. Up next, we got another fighter we absolutely love, Curtis Razor Blaydes, A tier. Coming off his recent win against Rizvan Kuniev. That Kuniev guy looks kind of fucking good, for real. He might have been on steroids, too. I don't know what the testing was like in that fight, but Curtis Blaydes showed a lot of heart in that fight. It was clearly a tough matchup. He's got a lot of great wins on his resume, What he did against Alistair Overeem, absolutely sick. What he did against Chris Dawkins, absolutely sick. I love a guy, a journeyman kind of. He's not. Yeah, not a journeyman. But he's like a long-term contender. He has that old man strength. He'll toss you around, a brutal fighter. I love Curtis Razor Blaydes. He seems like a really nice guy too. Seems like a family man. He's a guy, he has that stutter, so he probably had a tough upbringing, but he's shown that there's more than what meets the eye. You can have a lot of heart. You can be a beast. You can be someone people don't want to fuck with. If you have a lot of discipline. So Curtis Razor Blaydes, A tier. Love this guy. S tier incoming. Maybe kind of an ironic S tier, but a fighter I absolutely love. He will be getting a video in the Journeyman series. Bobby King Green, S tier. Yeah. What else can I say, man? I love his fight style, first of all. It's really funny to watch. All of the taunting, just the hood antics, throwing your hands up, all the bullshit. He's not scared of anybody, man. Like, the UFC really thought it was a good idea to put this motherfucker in the cage with Islam Makhachev. That was insane to me. Why the fuck would we do this? I know it was short notice, but, like, that is such a hilarious fight. Bobby Green went in there. He had some balls, man. He was talking his shit, And then probably my most favorite performance of Bobby Green's career would probably be that fight against Rafael Fiziev. Dude, if fighting wasn't scored off of points, that's one of those ones. Rafael Fiziev won that shit. Bobby Green won that shit. In the third round, he was piecing this motherfucker up. And we know how good of a striker Rafael Fiziev is. Bobby Green, he outlasted him, and he was like really putting on a show for those fans. And then the reason he's kind of ironically up here too is like, even when he loses, it's fucking hilarious, guys. Like, his loss to Paddy Pimblett was fucking hilarious. His loss to Drew Dober was fucking hilarious. He's always got his hands down, and it's really caught up with him late in his career, but he doesn't want to change, bro. He's just kind of stuck in the past, And if you follow this guy on Instagram, it's a lot of videos of him driving around in his car, and he's talking about this girl drama. And dude, it reminds me of when I was in college with the chocolate shorties. Dude, it's like the most Jerry Springer high school juvenile drama you've ever heard, dude. He's wearing like a sideways hat. He's like smoking a blunt and stuff. He's like, man, these girls, they just don't know how to deal with the real alpha, man. And I'm like, dude, you're like 40 years old, bro. Lock it the fuck in. But that's kind of why I love him. Ironically, he's an S tier. Would love to get an interview with him for this channel. Love Bobby Green. So what goes up must come down. We have Cedric Doumbe, D tier. First of all, this guy's a fucking criminal. All right. Like, a bunch of times over, he's a fucking criminal. I don't really like that, Second of all, he's kind of shit at fighting. Okay. Hey, Cedric Doumbe, don't beat my ass, bro. At the end of the day, I love all these guys in this video. I love the UFC. These guys have a lot of balls, probably more balls than me. So respect to all of them. But man, this dude, he trains out of like a fucking garage, like something you'd get in a K-hole with, and you're you'd go in there, with some Coors Lights and like play some Pong and like get K-hole with your homies. That's where he trains, bro. He literally trains there in like Planet Fitness and shit. And he can't stuff a takedown, and he's like, when he starts to get out grappled in a fight, he kind of fucking quits. Cedric Doumbe is D tier, no doubt about it, bro. Like, I mean, he hasn't even had that many fights, so I can't talk that much shit about him, but zero interest in this guy at all. Up next, we got Chris Curtis. Action man, Chris Curtis, C tier. There was a point, honestly, he probably would have been A tier, but there's a couple things that have turned me off. So clearly, early in his career, he had some insane wins. His win over Joaquin Buckley was insane. I think he also beat Brendan Allen, too, if I remember that correctly. And he beat Phil Rowe. That shit was also insane. Yeah, dude, he was a guy who came in with no hype, and he was slumping motherfuckers. That shit would have put him A tier, but in recent years, the complaining, guys. Oh, Lord, the complaining, dude. I'm not married. I don't have a girlfriend, but when I watch a Chris Curtis fight, I feel like I do have like a nagging bitch over my shoulder, like telling me what to do and shit. He's complaining about everything. Eye pokes, judges' scorecards, all this shit. Come to find out, this motherfucker likes Kamala Harris, guys. Hey, there's nothing wrong with being a Democrat, but if you were fucking with Kamala Harris, hey, I don't know what to tell you, brother. You're cooked. It is what it is. But yeah, Chris Curtis, big time complainer. And then he's got to be more boring recently in his fights. C tier. There was a point where he would have been A tier, though. I really liked him. Up next, we got another A tier, a guy that we love, of course, Michael the Menace Johnson. A tier. I mean, there's a lot of things to say about this guy. He has had many, many fights, He fucking KO'd Dustin Poirier. He's lost to some complete bombs, He's had points where he was top 3 in the division. He's had points where he was almost getting cut. Win one, lose one, win one, lose one, win 3, lose 3. Right now, Michael Menace Johnson is going crazy, guys. He is on a 3-fight win streak against like good opponents. His KO win over Ottman Zaitar was fucking crazy. And then he just beat Daniel Zellhuber, guys. Daniel Zellhuber is a fucking beast, okay? So Michael Menace Johnson, I think you could argue, is like, he's making a real renaissance to being like almost at the peak of his career. And he's 40 years old. His record is like, what is his record? I can't even remember at this point. It's like 30-20 or something, like 32-17 maybe. I like him a lot. I love his celebration, that little, finger pinching thing he does. He has some of the most savage knockouts in UFC lightweight history. And I really like his personality. He's a fucking gangster, dude. This guy is like loyal to the soil, a guy that I could really ride behind. So he's A tier for me. I'm cheering against him, like no matter what opponent he goes against for the rest of his career. That's how it is with Michael Menace Johnson, A tier. Up next, a fighter who is pretty universally loved on YouTube, and he's S tier for me. Terrence McKinney, guys. Terrence McKinney's a fucking beast. Okay, he's probably the most entertaining fighter in the UFC. Every single fight he has is like a bar fight. It's like when you're at a club, and some dude like bumps into you while you're walking, and some girl just told you off. Your bitch girlfriend just like told you off for the fourth time of the night. And you're like, fuck it, we're fighting. That's Terrence McKinney right there. He's got some amazing finishes. He's also been finished. He's just had crazy fights, man. His recent fight against what's that motherfucker's name? Chris Duncan, right? Yeah, the Scottish guy. A tough loss, but guys, he's the only fighter in the UFC. After all of his losses, he gained stock. Okay, when he got knocked out by Ribovic, gained stock. When he got knocked out by Bonfim, gained stock. Okay, everyone loves Terrence McKinney. He's got all the tools. He could be like that's what we love about him. Like he's got those. He shows those flashes of being a generational top 5 fighter. Terrence McKinney does. There's no doubt about it. He can finish anybody in the world. He could get finished by anybody in the world. He's an absolute chiller too. He's got a great story coming back from that OD off the mushrooms, I think, and clearly having a great career for himself. Terrence McKinney, absolute beast. Up next, we have the STL sniper. We have Sean Woodson. I'm putting Sean Woodson probably in the... We're going to go with the B tier. Yeah, I do like Sean Woodson. He's had some good knockout wins. I really like his fight style. He controls the distance pretty well. He's not the most exciting to me just because he doesn't have that knockout power and that real aggression, but the pure marvel of him. He looks like Slenderman. He's going out there in the cage. He's controlling the distance. He's throwing a lot of straight shots. If you guys have ever used him in the UFC game too, he's very fun to use because of how long and gangly and alien he is. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I got to say about him. Go check out MMA Guru's video where he's reacting to all the alien comments about Sean Woodson. That shit's hilarious. All those alien donos. Very funny shit. Sean Woodson, STL sniper, B tier. Like I said, STL, a city of killers. Sorry, gross. Yeah, still sick. Up next, D tier. Our final, actually not even our final D tier entrant of the video. Pretty much this guy has become universally hated by the UFC fan base just because it's funny to do it. Patchy Mix, D tier. Hey, what can I say? You come in the UFC from Bellator. First of all, if you do that, people are going to hate you. They're going to want to hate you right away because UFC kind of views Bellator as just kind of like a money show, and it's just shit and greedy and it's just trash. Whenever I go watch Bellator, when it was around, it was some of the scammiest bullshit I've ever seen. Every single time would end by complete bullshit, eye pokes, DQs, split decisions, draws, you fucking name it. Bellator fucking sucks. But Patchy Mix, he comes in, he's talking a lot of shit, and he's like, oh, I got pedigree to be at the top of the UFC and all this shit. And his first 2 performances have been so shit, guys. So shit. His boxing looks so rudimentary. It's honestly terrible. He's actually street beef smashing in the UFC right now. Just terrible performances. I mean, that's how it is. When you come in, you talk a lot of shit, and you have terrible... and then he just lost to, this Jacob Wicklax guy. I've never even heard of this motherfucker in my life, guys. In my life. Patchy Mix is losing to him. He's 24 years old by split decision. So, yeah. I mean, you talk a lot of shit, you come in the UFC, you lose. It is what it is, brother. You're D tier. You're like an ironic meme at this point. People aren't really cheering for you. We got the greatest fighter of all time next. Yes, the greatest fighter of all time. Johnny Bones Jones. He's going to go in the B tier for me. Obviously, I don't really like him as a person. He's kind of a scumbag. He's been popped for steroids 3 times. Cocaine, domestic violence, hit and runs. You name it, guys. This motherfucker he's crossing all the boxes. He's Cedric Doumbe's maxing. He's actually the guy who, he trailblazed Cedric Doumbe's path for him. But, guys, we got to talk about the fighting, okay? This guy probably has the most perfect embodiment of mixed martial arts in the world. He mixes every martial art. It's beautiful. He is the perfect model or test subject for this is what happens when you put all the martial arts together. This is what happens when you know how your body works and you use it to advantage in your fight style. It's just he's the perfect beakers and test tubes fighter. He had the most amazing run in UFC history. You cannot doubt it at all. Guys, the names on this resume are insane. We're talking about Shogun. We're talking about Thiago Santos. We're talking about Dominic Reyes. We're talking about Alexander Gustafsson fucking twice. Fucking Brandon Vera. Lyoto Machida. Oh, can I name any more off the top of my head? Lyoto Machida. Glover Teixeira. Amazing wins, guys. Can't take it from him. His highlight reel is amazing. It's so diverse. Beautiful guillotine chokes. Spinning elbows. Insane knees. Fucking, knocking people down with punches. Ground and pound. All of it, man. Amazing fighter. Jon Jones. So B tier. The personality, the antics are D tier. The fighting is S tier. So B tier for me. And then up next, our final entrant of the video, guys. A D tier. Leon Rocky Edwards. Oh my God. This motherfucker. The personality is terrible, guys. He's an autist. He's a borderline, super autist, existential threat to the globe autist. Don't bring him around the women. He was in my UFC fighters I would sleep with if I was a woman video. He's kind of handsome, but he ended up in the C tier in that video because he's a fucking autist, guys. Weaponized autism. But, we love our autists. Shout out to the autists on this channel. I'm kind of one myself. And then obviously, boring ass fighter, took the belt from Kamaru Usman, inactive title reign. Someone you just really can't cheer for, guys. He's just boring as fuck. It's really what it is. He's D tier for me. Just a guy I don't really like. So, that's probably going to be like the longest tier list we ever do on this channel, guys. There was like 35 names there I had to get into, but I really appreciate you guys watching. Let me know what you think. And hey, and once again, to all the brothers out there, we absolutely love you. Yes, we are allies on this channel. Love my brothers. And I love the chocolate ladies as well, man. If there's any of them watching, I doubt it, but hey, you know where to find me, okay? So, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys. Go ahead, like, subscribe. Video took me a bunch of talking. I'm so hungry now. I'm going to go eat some fucking chicken and rice. You know how it is. But, yeah, that's it, man. This has been Jobless MMA. Peace.